I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact focused on personal growth, my Knowledge Workbook series and Creative Healing course can help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at askcraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about my ex put me on a probationary period. So this is interesting because one of the things that I always talk to you guys about is taking each other for granted. And so in a weird way, if we always considered being on a probationary period with somebody, we would probably treat them a lot better. If we had written into our marriage agreement that it's up for renewal every 3 years, a lot more people would treat each other better. Because so many people just think that because we're in a relationship, you're going to stay forever. And that's simply not the case. Most people will make a significant effort to be with a partner, but if it's not reciprocated or the behavior or the way they're being treated by their partner is going well, they have a right to leave. Same as you. If your partner's not treating you well, you have a right to walk away. I see so many people take each other for granted that they start mistreating people. If you grew up in a home where it was toxic, a lot of fighting and arguing, that feels normal and natural to you. Maybe your parents were alcoholics and neglectful, and so you're acting out those same patterns. Or maybe you just didn't think the relationship was as important to you as now you're realizing it at the time of the breakup. That happens to a lot of people. They start to take someone for granted, they neglect them, they don't listen to them, they don't try to meet their needs. And then when that person leaves, they're shocked, they're devastated, and all of a sudden they realize, oh my gosh, what have I done? So I'm a big believer in holding ourselves accountable and looking inwards and saying to ourselves, how am I treating the people in my life? Okay? How are they treating me? Of course, we want to hold them accountable as well. But if we didn't look at relationships as once we got in it, that's it forever, I think we would be a lot more likely to be present, to listen to our partner's needs, and to treat them with kindness, love, and respect. So in this video, we're going to talk about an email coaching with somebody who got put onto a probationary period. The interesting thing, it's kind of before it fell apart. Okay? So the ex had already warned this woman who's in her late 20s that he was unhappy. And this guy's in his early 30s, and they've been together for about 10 months. Watch how all these issues come out. And I bet a lot of you are going to find that these same issues happened in your relationship. So they live about an hour apart and only got to see each other once or, every week or two. And they talked on the phone daily. And obviously, if you have an anxious partner, as we're going to see in this situation, seeing someone only once every 2 weeks or so, once a week, once every 2 weeks, that might not be enough. It might make that person not feel cared about enough. And you know what happens when that space happens. We lose emotional self-control, we get anxious, we get controlling, we get manipulative, and all the things that destroy attraction. So she says that we broke up 3 weeks ago on a trip out of the country. Before the trip, things had been rocky due to me being sensitive and getting my feelings hurt easily. So those are big indicators to me that she's probably anxious, right? As soon as I started reading that, I thought, okay, I can see already what's going to happen here. She's sensitive, but to what? Abandonment, not feeling cared about, I'm sure all those things along those lines, and that can lead to fighting. He told me we were on a probationary period and requested that I not get moody on the vacation. Now, vacations are stressful, and we think we're going to relax and get away, but the flying, the packing, the unpacking, getting lost, trying to figure out where you're going, what you're doing, being out of your routine actually causes a lot of stress and breakup. We got to our location and had a good time. On day 9, I was in the hotel bathroom and cried. I heard him leave the room prior, so I thought I had privacy. Turns out he never left the room. Okay, so he's thinking we're on this probationary period. I warned her about not getting moody on the vacation, and now she's getting moody on the vacation. Now, this is day 9. But if you're crying, what's going on that you're crying all of a sudden? Had it been building up? Had there been some other issues? It seems unlikely that you would just start crying out of nowhere if it hadn't been building up. The other thing is, what's going on with you? Okay, are you struggling with depression? Do you have a therapist? Have you been evaluated by a psychiatrist? I don't know what's going on with your mental health, but obviously this is not just a one-time incident. He had already said don't get moody on the vacation, so that indicates something's going on with you. I don't know what it may be. You might want to get evaluated by a doctor based on what you're going through, or a therapist, or a psychiatrist. I just don't have any of that. Maybe you've got some kind of hormone issues going on. I don't know. Or maybe it's just that you're struggling with the relationships and you are struggling with your anxiety and your attachment issues. You didn't go into any of those details, so I'm only speculating, but those are all things you want to consider and look at. But now, he didn't leave the room. He heard you crying in the bathroom, and what happens? She says, I didn't address it, and we proceeded to have another fun day, but seemed distant. Yep, it's building up inside of him. He's thinking, I can't believe it. We just came on this trip. I don't know where she's from, but probably the other side of the world. And she's having meltdowns. She's ruining our vacation. I told her not to do this. I told her she was on probation. And here it is. Exactly what I didn't want to happen. Now, I'm not saying it's exactly right for him to feel like that, or that maybe he couldn't be more supportive or understanding. I'm just explaining what I think he was feeling. The next day, he was still distant, so I asked. He accused me of crying to manipulate and guilt him. Wonder if he saw his parents do that to each other. This isn't true. I cried because I was stressed. He refused to believe that and said someone else can deal with me and find another boyfriend. Okay. Now, I don't know if this had been a long series of events that led him to getting frustrated to this point. Kind of sounds like it. But obviously, he's gotten to the point where he's really fed up and ready to walk away. We tried to continue our day at the theme park, but I was upset, so we went back to the hotel. Okay, they're on vacation. He had already said, if these things happen, this is going to be it. Now she's crying. Now she's not having a good time at the theme park. And now he's probably thinking, I just spent all this money to go to this theme park, and we can't even have a good day. The next morning, I asked if this breakup was permanent. He said, we can reevaluate getting back together in 2 or 3 months if I change. Okay. Now, remember, they're on a trip, so part of me is wondering, did he just say that to appease her, to get through this trip? If you're on a vacation like this, maybe he's like, oh man, if we break up now, it's really going to go bad. Who knows? Let's see what happens. His 2 main issues with me is my emotional reactivity. which we've touched upon. And whenever he tells me no, I always press him. So now we're getting a much clearer picture just on this second issue here. That tells us she's got an anxious attachment style, and anxious people can be very pushy, okay? They want what they want. They don't care about how they're making other people feel or what other people need and want. That is what anxiety does to us. It makes us become selfish. It makes us self-absorbed. Go watch my video, The Real Reason Relationships Fail. Write that title down and go watch it. The Real Reason Relationships Fail. I left the trip 4 days early. Oh, man. So now she's leaving the vacation. I mean, you could imagine what it would be like to be him, right? He would be so frustrated and fed up, thinking, I knew this was going to happen. I told her if this had happened, I was done. And here it is happening. Now, in fairness, I don't know if he said or did anything to set her off. Obviously, that would make a difference, but she didn't say anything that he did to trigger her. But it sounds like he was already frustrated even before they went on this trip. He stayed, and we exchanged about something he was buying for me. We met up after the trip to exchange things. Here, he said, we can get back together in 2 or 3 months if I work on my issues. But he didn't think I would. That's big for everyone watching this video. Your ex doesn't think you're going to change. Okay? Most of you. Okay, now I'm not saying you may or may have not done something wrong, but your ex thinks that the person you are at the time of the breakup, that's who they're leaving, and that's who you'll be a week from now, a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. Okay? So they don't really consider how much you can grow or change in that time. That's why I'm always telling you, you got to focus on blowing them away. Act like you're going to get one opportunity. Let them see you again and be shocked that you're not that same person. That's why I'm telling you guys, after 3 weeks, you tell your ex you've changed. It's going to blow up in your face. Trust me, I've seen it so many times. So this guy doesn't believe she can change. Okay? He said he thinks we're very compatible, but if the next attempt fails, he will be done for good and block me. This is going to be a big problem for her. We're going to see in a second here. He told me to let me know once I think I have worked on things so we can retry. So now all the pressure's on her. Okay, I'll give this another chance. You let me know when you're ready. But guess what? She's anxious, so what does that mean? She doesn't want space. She'll wait 2 or 3 weeks and then say, I've changed. Hopefully she doesn't do that because we did the coaching. And I, warn you guys against that stuff. But many of you will do that, okay? If I was her, I would be doing the creative healing course an hour a day. I'd be in therapy. I would be doing all those things. I'd be getting evaluated by doctors, having my blood levels checked, checking for any hormone imbalances, getting evaluated by a psychiatrist. If someone's that important to you, you'll show it with your actions and you'll do those things. Okay? If not, you'll just make excuses. There's no other way to look at it. You either step up and do what you have to do, or you don't. If it's important enough, you'll do it. A few days later, he texted a random question about the new Nintendo, and we had a brief exchange. 3 days later, I initiated texts and we talked a lot and made plans. A couple of days later, I called. He asked if I was okay with going home after our date rather than to his house because he thinks it's a bad idea right now. And he's probably right. Things are too volatile. This led to another emotional discussion where I asked if he ever decides he doesn't want reconciliation to let me know. There's her not being able to sit with uncertainty. She's got to work on that. This is going to be a major, major issue. If she doesn't make that her top priority, this isn't going to turn around anyway. He said, I still haven't changed and can't take no. Says he thinks I will give up on therapy. So he's doubting you. And that's his right to doubt. I mean, because he's asked you to change before and you haven't. He's put you on probation and it still went poor. I said, never mind our date. He said, no, let's still go. The next day, I missed a call from him. 3 days later, he called me again and we had an easy 40-minute conversation about life and work. Since then, I haven't contacted him and he hasn't contacted me. He said he doesn't want to be the only one initiating contact, and if it felt one-sided, he would stop. So I think he's waiting for me to reach out. I'm unsure if no contact is the best option since he has given me concrete timeline of reconciling if I change. Should I stay friends and go on the date if I maintain emotional self-control? I'm scared he will change his mind. Okay, well, I would be scared too. That's totally understandable why you're scared and you feel the need to rush the connection. However, there's a lot of pressure on you to have good timing on this and to have a lot of emotional self-control. Because, let's face it, it takes a lot of work to get centered. Okay, you have some attachment issues. It's clear in your behavior. You can change your behavior, but everybody has a different level of awareness and a different amount of ability to regulate their emotions and have emotional self-control when those challenging moments come. That's what the Creative Healing course will help you do. That's what the workbooks are going to help you do. If I woke up in her body, this would be a very easy situation to turn around, okay? Because I know how to do all those things. This is not a tough breakup to turn around in many ways. For her, it could be. But this guy thinks they're still very compatible. He's clearly very attracted to her. It's just that he's very turned off by behavior, okay? So if she can really make changes in her behavior, hold herself accountable constantly, not spend too much time with him, not have too much demands on him, this can turn around. Okay, so a lot of this being able to turn around is on her and how much work she's going to do. And that goes for many of you watching this video. Many of you made a lot of similar mistakes, and either you're just starting to realize it or you don't realize it yet. But if you focus on personal growth, these things become more and more clear. And the more clear they become, the more likely you're going to be able to soothe yourself, control your emotions, and have healthy dynamics where you're more empathetic and compassionate about your partner's needs instead of getting so angry and manipulative and pushy. Because pushy people trying to get closeness wind up causing the opposite to happen. Okay? All right, so hopefully this one has been helpful to you. Of course, if you want to get my help personally, you can do that on my website, askcraig.net, and I do Zoom calls. You can only get my Creative Healing course and my workbooks on the website. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.